Hello, this is Aspiffy. Thank you for showing up for part 2. And we're gonna see where we're going here. I actually let it, I did the overnight sleep thing. And, which lasts very little bit, but I figured I'd come back to this at another time. Just because I felt like taking a little break. So how's everybody doing? I'd love it if you guys left a comment whether you like this or not. I realize that this is going to be a very long 2 parts here, so I'm going to try in the future not to do like multiple part episodes, unless of course I'm doing something different. I don't know, we'll see. This is just kind of like me getting used to doing this type of stuff, so we'll see what goes on. Now I know I was talking about a bunch of stuff the last time. The music and my Millennium Falcon, my 3D printer. Working on electronics, some of my background with electronics and my traveling. Now, one thing on my traveling, I never, I have not been to Oregon. I don't know if I mentioned that previously.
Turn right.
I forgot that voice. I should have shut that off. I guess I forgot to. Oh, I'll leave it alone. I haven't been to Oregon. It's not that I don't want to go to that state. I wouldn't mind it, I guess. I've been to Washington, but it was up at Whidbey Island. It was when I was in the Navy.
Right.
And I enjoyed it for the week that I did spend up there, although it did rain.
Turn
well,
right.
I guess it really didn't rain. It was just overcast for most of the time. Good Lord, and that was in September of like, gosh, I think it was like 91 maybe. It's been so. Whoops. Guess maybe I should pay attention. See, this is where I want to put my track IR on and be able to look around, because this is the part of realism that's not there. Is I can't turn my head. You know, when you're driving, you look at your mirror on your left side, you look at your mirror on your right side. I'm not comfortable with the D-pad, so I tried to set this up so I could actually look, but apparently I'm not paying attention. Look at that, Boeing. Used to work for them. So I need to see if I can figure out on getting my what do you call it, my Tobii eye tracking, to see if I can get it to work with this. I may have to actually build a either build or buy. I'll probably build a kind of like a desk for my Thrustmaster system. That way I don't have to. I can fold it up and move it out of the way. Because right now my keyboard is right behind the wheel, and I don't have your atypical monitor. I actually have a Vizio 4K television that I actually use as my monitor because one, I don't have a desk, so one of my TVs is my monitor, and I sit far enough away from it that when you go to mount the Tobii eye tracker, I'm too far away. So I don't know.
Keep right.
I haven't decided what I'm going to do
right.
yet with that.
Exit right.
I don't even know. I have
Get ready to turn left.
I have one automated where you hit the brake and the Jake brake turns on. Since I don't have any of the fancy other tools you can have for
Turn left.
this game, I got introduced to it by watching another YouTuber, and it kind of intrigued me. So that's the reason why I was like, hey, you know, this is, believe it or not, actually somewhat relaxing, except for when you're not paying attention to other vehicles coming. See, right here I'm using my D-pad, so. Now, as you can see, I'm not exactly centered out in the front, and I'm taking a risk because, you know, that's the other thing when you're in game here, you don't have your peripherals like you would in a vehicle. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess with that Tobii eye tracker, maybe mount it closer, or build design a mount for it so that I can actually have it closer to where the steering columns are, the steering wheel's at, and not obstructed by it either. Yeah, we'll see.
Caution, please mind the speed limit.
Good lord. I don't recall my GPS ever telling me. Maybe it did. Maybe it just flashed at me. I don't remember. Staples. Haven't seen that in a while. So what is, if you're actually watching this, and if you leave a comment, please give me some ideas of what kind of videos you might like to see. If you'd like to see some stuff on electronics. I'm planning on doing some on electronics, but I just haven't, since I work with it, a lot of times I just don't want to come home and mess with it as much as I used to. That and my workbench is kind of in a shambles, so to speak. Actually, I have everything on top of my workbench. That's really what it comes down to. I'm just too dang lazy to clean it off so I can actually do something with it. I was going to start working on my other, one of the other songs that actually my buddy and I recorded years ago. I think I brought this up earlier, but I was working on the video for it, and so the video in itself is not going to match the song. It's just kind of one of those things. I think I'm just going to throw the song on it with it, I guess you could say, just to animate the video or put the video together for it. I have some other plans for some other ones, but we'll see what that does, because it's just one of those things. I have some ideas, but it's going to take a lot of time to actually model the stuff that I want to do, and we'll see. It's not that I don't want to do it. I enjoy doing it. It just takes time. When you're only one person doing video and the audio portion of it. In fact, the recording thing comes down to about I haven't recorded. So Breathe is the first time I've recorded since it's been about 20 years. That was the last time I did any recording. Played in a band and everything, but we just never recorded. And so since I hadn't done it in such a long time, I had to retrain myself in how to do it. So I decided, well, let's do it with this song. So it's rough, and I like it. Needs work, but I don't know. Like I was saying before, I don't know where I want to go with it. So it's kind of one of those. Put it on the back burner, let it sit while I work on another one. Of course, I haven't worked on that one yet because, well, one, I was busy, and then I decided to start playing games and stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to do this. So I was having the adult ADD moment. So I like the coloring in this game, but I don't think the coloring is that accurate. I believe I have Real World mod in here, but I don't think I have it set up properly. I'm gonna have to go through and maybe do some adjustments on where my mods are sitting and see how that comes out. I don't know. We'll see. You know, there was one idea I did have about maybe doing stuff like this, is maybe doing like a podcast with the American Truck Simulator in the background as we're driving. I don't know. That was an idea. Maybe get somebody else in here and just start yapping about stuff. I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those, I have plans, but I don't know what my plans are. They're so few and far between that they're, actually I should say they're more jumbled and mixed together with a bunch of other junk. So it's like, here's another one of the things that I'd like to do, except I need to either build or buy another 3D printer or two, because I'd love to 3D print a Saturn V model. And there's one that's on Thingiverse that gives you the gantry, and it's I don't remember the scale. I can tell you this much, that the gantry is 7 feet tall, and the rocket is just over 6 feet tall. So that's a pretty good size. Now mind you, you can scale it down when you go to print, but the problem is that I only have a 200 by 200 by just, I guess, about 200 on the Z-axis for printing, and a couple of the pieces that that have been modeled, I would have to cut in half because I don't have enough room. Now, if I got a Delta 3D printer, I probably could get away with it, but I don't have a Delta, and I don't know if I want to get into the Deltas. I haven't actually seen them in operation or researched them enough to actually do it, but I'll look into it maybe. I know it's gonna cost a little bit in filament though, because it uses quite a bit of it. But you can find it on Thingiverse. It's the Saturn V with gantry.
Caution,
if you're into
please
that.
mind the speed limit.
I'll be quiet. Stop telling me how fast I'm going. I know how fast I'm going. You know, it's not that. So I grew up in northern Minnesota, and we have a lot of rolling hills up that way. And oh, if you can't find it, grind it. So I don't recall there being. There was a couple places that have really sheer cliffs, I guess you could say, next to the roads. Finding on here, running into places where you have to drive, where you're driving close to the edge, what I would assume to be a cliff, and that would be kind of freaky if I was actually in a truck, because it already looks like you take up half the road as it is, and even though I know I'm not, it still feels like it because your perspective is so much different. That'd be so weird. Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, I'd like to print that thing, but it's gonna take a long time with one printer. So if I ran it 8 hours, because I know I printed one portion of it, it took. So something happened with the.
Go straight on.
I think one of my gears on one of the stepper motors ended up, gotta pull off here, ended up coming loose. So the gear on the stepper motor,
I'll find a new route,
became loose, and then it just stopped printing. And I was 10 hours in the print, and what sucked because it didn't pause, it just stopped, and that was it. And it was acting like it was still trying to print. So I didn't know exactly where it had happened at. And mind you, I was somewhat sitting in the. I might have left for a little bit, but it happened while I was in the room, and so that was a big waste of filament, and that's kind of where it got me to take my printer and go, okay, I need to redo this, and so I tore it down and put it all back together. I just haven't done anything with it since. Right now, it's just collecting dust. But if I can get another one, so it's got two 1/8" rods, or threaded rods, that are used for the Z-axis, that I'd like to put lead, or I call them lead screws, worm gears, in its place. But I might have to do some modifications just because of the fact that it's the ones I bought don't, the length of the rod is not quite long enough, so I may have to make some adjustments at the bottom, but I think I can do that. I think I'd have to maybe cut or do some drilling or something just to get the mounts for the motor to sit up higher. Something I probably can work with. I just haven't messed around with it. It was real tough when I was traveling all the time because I plan everything out for the week, and then I get home and be too tired. And that was one thing I definitely wanted to do, and I just never got around to it, just because of the fact that, like I said, I get home and that's the last thing I want to do is start ripping crap apart when I'm super tired. And then I was gonna take apart a power supply and make a benchtop power supply, and I got too lazy on that because me and my stupidity, I like I was saying before, I built one in college, and due to the number of moves that I ended up after graduating, moving back to California, and moving from apartment to a house and whatnot, the stupid transformer broke loose, fell over, broke the PC board, and then I just got fed up with it, and I was like, it was just a standard roughly 1.5 volts to 30 volt adjustable power supply, and I was going to put in a switching power supply so I can get plus and minus voltage out of it, but I never got around to it. And then when I did get around to it, that's when I found that the transformer had broke loose and cracked the PC board. And I could have done upgrades. I know this in hindsight, but I just got tired of it and I got pissed off. So it is what it is. Logging trucks. I should probably be paying attention more to the road, huh? So do you guys listen to audiobooks? I have such a slew of audiobooks. When I was traveling, my old company, that's all I used to listen to. I didn't listen to music or anything, which is, for a musician, is kind of odd. But anyway, I would sit there and just listen to audiobooks, and they're alright. I listened to the Einstein one that actually, I think the History Channel or National Geographic ended up making the series. I was actually listening to that before that that series came. I never did get to watch the series. I think I watched the first episode, and then I never got around to seeing the rest of it. Wonder how good it was. But yeah, I listened to that one. I thought it was pretty interesting. Tried listening to the Lincoln one, which is the one they made the movie at. Somewhat of the movie. It's a long audiobook though. I think it's somewhere near 32 hours or something like that, which is it's a long book to be sitting down listening to. I like reading. Since I was traveling, I just utilized the audiobook. Interesting though. I did listen to the Martian audiobook, and the guy that read that one did a great job because I really enjoyed. I mean, mind you, I watched the movie before I actually listened to the book, and I actually have the book, and I actually got an autographed book from Andy Weir. That was pretty cool. But I don't normally sit down and read books anymore, just because of the fact that there's 24 hours in a day, and I can't seem to find enough time to do what I want to do in the 24 hours. So, and reading is one of them. I do enjoy reading once in a great while. So that's a lot of. I use the Kindle. I actually have the Kindle app, and I actually have a couple of Kindle. I have a Paperwhite and then the original Kindle, and then what is it? The Fire tablet, which I don't even know where my tablet's at, come to think about it. But of course you have the apps on the computer, which I don't use, but so I'm reading another book right now, actually reading a book. Well, no, a digital copy, I should rephrase that. And it's on a paranormal stuff, because that's another thing I'm kind of into. I grew up in a house that I don't want to say it was haunted, but there was definitely paranormal stuff going on there. My grandparents actually built the house, and when they both passed away, I never met them. They both passed away before I was born. But my room was upstairs, and I always hear somebody kind of coming up the stairs. And then I was named after my grandpa, so I'd hear my name being called out, and there'd be nobody there calling my name. So that was some weird stuff. So I started kind of looking investigating that type of stuff, but I don't know, there's some things about it that I disagree with. You know, it's kind of like when you're working on science type of stuff, it's got to be repeatable, right? So I don't trust some of the equipment. I mean, I was interested in some stuff, but then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, oh, hold on a second here.
Caution, please mind the speed.
If I'm using a cell phone with an app, how does this cell phone app utilize all these things they supposedly have? And so I was like, I think this is a bunch of
Caution,
crap.
please mind the
So,
speed limit.
good lord, stop telling me to keep minding the speed limit. I haven't had a ticket yet. At least not that I know of. So if you're not familiar with this game, they don't actually pull you over. What ends up happening is if a cop sees you speeding or whatever, it automatically deducts money from your account and says you got a ticket. Which is cool. What I think it should do is should also cut some time off of it, because technically if you get pulled over, you're losing time. So I don't know if it does that. I've had a speeding ticket a couple times. I did not pay attention to that. So maybe in the future I might have to do that. I'm not going to do it on this run, but I may do it. And I know I was talking about the new one that's coming out, Utah. Like I was saying, there was a trip that I had to do. It was in January, in fact, 2018, I believe it was. Yeah, it was 2018. I ended up having to take do a trip up to Seattle, or not Seattle, Salt Lake. I'm headed towards Seattle. So that trip was pretty cool. That was I'd flown into Vegas. I drove through there once. That was back in 2000. Drove through coming back from Minnesota, but stopped in well, we didn't. I brought my oldest daughter with me, and her and I we were going up there, and so we stopped in. Well, we didn't stop in. We stopped outside of Vegas to get gas, and then we stopped in St. George, and that was pretty cool. It was like, this is definitely a stop-off place coming back, because the scenery was pretty cool. So I'd like to see what they do with the game for that. I'd actually like to try that route again. It was nice having her with me, though, because we started out at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m., and we didn't get to Salt Lake until, let's see here, was it, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock Mountain Time. So it would have been 9, it was about almost a 12-hour drive with the stop to eat and get gas and whatnot. But I want to see what they do, because there's a portion outside of after you leave St. George and you're heading up that way, you end up going up into the mountains. And excuse me, sorry, I'm getting hoarse here. Maybe I should drink some water. I'd like to see what they did with that, to see how well it looks. I mean, because like this, there's some spots where they've done things pretty cool with where Interstate 5 and 99 kind of connect. If you've never been out to California, where they connect as you go south, where you're on the 5 at that point. There's a section called Tejon Outlets, and that wasn't there, and that's not in the game. But it's right before you get to the Grapevine. And if you're not familiar with it, that's what they call there's actually a little town just before you go into the mountains to go to LA, and it's called Grapevine. So I believe that's where they got the name. Don't quote me on that. You're gonna have to look that up, as well as I probably have to look it up myself. But it looks pretty good now that they have that. Granted, you don't have to deal with the actual roughly an hour to an hour and a half that you have to travel through the Grapevine of the game, but still, they still got that that section pretty good. You don't really see what's it called, castaic or wow, I'm drawing a blank. I am totally drawing a blank. I can't think of the name of it. Well, anyway, as you're going down into LA, it's they got some of it, but it's not exact. But I had one other route. They do have the 14 there. I'm curious. I want to try that one. See if I can go up that direction towards Lancaster. See if they have Lancaster in there. I haven't even paid attention if they have that there. Be interesting if they do. Oh, just like the real roads. Not really. Well, somewhat, I guess. When do cars let trucks over? They usually go rifling past them. They don't want to be behind them because they got to drive slow. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm going to see if I can actually get some sort of head thing going on, so I can actually look around. Because right now it's kind of like autopilot. Just driving along. Don't get to look at the scenery. Just what you see out the front window. Oh, fire truck. What the heck? Wonder why he's parked right there. Maybe he's acting police or something. Who knows? It's kind of weird because I'm not exactly sure where. I think it's Waimaka, where it's located. I never really did look it up on a map. What the heck's going on up here? Oh, there's road construction. Cool. General Mills. What was I saying? Got sidetracked with that. Oh, come on, light, stay green, stay green. All right. Oh. I'll grind it. I don't know why it does that. I seem to have that problem every time I go into either 4th or 7th. I don't know why. I think the road signs look pretty good though. So I hope if you really like this video, or you like this, maybe not these long ones. I totally get it when you're sitting there going, oh, this guy is boring or whatever. I'm gonna try to get a little different. This is like my first thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna mess around with this. So hopefully I will do some other videos with the American Truck Simulator, but I'm gonna actually do some shorter runs and check out my mods and see if I can't mess around with it. But before I do that, I think I'm gonna actually try to get my Tobii eye tracking working. I gotta figure out something. I might actually light a fire in my butt and get my 3D printer working so I can design something. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I got the Track IR. I just don't want to. It's broken, sort of, and I'm not using a gaming headset. I'm actually using a studio headset, and I don't know how well that'll sit on it. It might work all right. It's not that it's thicker; it's just more wires that come off the headset. So I don't know. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, that's another thing I plan on doing. I want to get that working so that way it looks, maybe I can get it to look a little more different. Because things that I'm noticing that are kind of frustrating me are some of the colors, not being able to look around. But that's me fighting with the D-pad and then not wanting to move it around. I don't know if there's any. So what I'm trying to do on this particular profile is actually build up as much money as I possibly can to. Like right now, I have a crappy garage, but I'm trying to build up the money instead of trying to cheat. And not that it's so bad to cheat. It's just that I'm trying to get used to the game and see if I can build up something without failing. But failure is always a learning experience. So I haven't so far I've been pretty good at it. I made enough money to be able to buy the truck I'm driving right now. And when the money starts to get a little lower, I will like just grab a job for hire type of thing to build it up. So we'll see. I haven't. I've driven the Volvo that I have on here. Didn't really like that one too much. I haven't gotten any mods for any other trucks. This is a newer Peterbilt, and I enjoy this one, but I haven't. I've driven the other ones, whatever ones they kind of hand you with your when you're driving. Trying to get my son actually sat down and was driving a little bit because we were sitting down watching Jeff Favignano doing his, and I was like, hey. He's like, this looks kind of cool, let me try it out. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot. He's never learned how to drive a clutch, so when I first started this game, though, I didn't drive the clutch either. I just ran straight automatic because one, I wasn't accustomed to it, and not that I don't know how to drive a clutch. Everything I've done has mostly been, well, I shouldn't say that. My last car that I owned was because I don't have a car right now. I gave that up so I don't have to. So I don't have to pay any car insurance and stuff like that. When I was traveling, I was gone all the time, so it made no sense to me of having a vehicle since I was never home. I'd come home on the weekends, and the last thing I wanted to do was go anywhere. So I ended up getting rid of that. So I eventually here, since I actually, my job right now is like literally right around the corner from my house, so it's not like I have to worry about driving anywhere. So, but I intend on getting another car, and I probably will get another stick. I had an automatic for years, and the main reason was I didn't want to deal with. I had a 1982 Mustang GT that was a clutch, and I drove that all over California, and then drove it all the way back to Minnesota. Unfortunately, my mistake was that I ended up putting air shocks in the rear of it, and then before I went back, and then packed everything up because it was when I was getting out of the Navy. I ended up overpacking the rear end of the car, so unfortunately I kind of put a lot of stress on the engine going out of Salt Lake, traveling up the Interstate 80, and it kind of put a little toll on the engine. So since I was going back to go to college and whatnot, I didn't have a lot of money. It's not like I could afford to put another engine in the car, so it ended up sitting, and then I ended up getting rid of it. And I think I had one other car after that. So did I end? Yeah. Then I ended up buying a couple automatics, and a couple automatics, and then this View is pretty cool. And then when I bought my 2001 Mustang, I ended up making the choice of not getting a clutch, and standard transmission, and had that car for 14 years, 13 years, something like that. So it's not something you forget how to do. I just haven't Now, like I said, in Washington. It's weird. This part of Washington looks a little more like California, but I don't know. I've never been on. I've only been to north of Seattle and Whidbey Island. So my next car, I hope, like I said, I think I might end up getting a standard. I don't know. We'll see. It's been so long since I've driven with a standard, I don't quite remember. I mean, other than this. So I guess there's a mod that can take out the X's, but I guess it'd be like one of those invisible force fields where you can't actually drive through it. So I don't know if I'll do that. I'll probably just leave it in there like it is. So I don't know. I haven't been looking at... See, here's the thing though, is I've also been looking at these electric cars. Like, I'd love to have a Tesla. That would be kind of cool. The problem is I'd have to have the power station built in it. Right now I'm renting a house, so until I buy a house, I'm not gonna
turn right.
I'm not gonna do that because obviously I wouldn't be able to put it into my current rental. But we'll see. Like I said, it's gonna be one of those. We'll see what I do. I don't know. There's a couple other ones, but those seem to be. There's a lot of them out here. And granted, you don't get the incentives that they had up until what last tax period. They had the big incentives. Now it's kind of going down. It's kind of like with solar. That's something else I'd like to do too, is go solar. Just because I really hate how much they charge for electricity, and everything's becoming electricity. So I mean, it's like you're gonna pay out the wazoo. And since I live in the Central Valley, it gets freaking hot. So you have to run the air conditioner. So one thing that killed me on my 3D printer was my room gets really warm in the summer. It gets around 90 degrees.
Go straight on.
It doesn't help that my computer pumps out heat into the room, but when you have a 3D printer, you have a heat bed, and you got the extruder that puts heat. And I don't have a case that's built around it. So it just adds more heat into the room. So the summertime is definitely a time that I don't print anything. So that's another thing. That's another reason why I'd like to go solar, is just to be able to I could be able to run an air conditioner and not have to really worry too much about going over the tier rates they have for your electricity bill. That, and I think I also would like to get another monitor, or I should say another TV, because I only paid like 200. I guess I paid like $300 for my. I have a 43-inch television that I use, my Vizio that I use, and I looked it up to see if it had HDR and everything. I haven't actually run it in HDR. I just wanted the 4K because I have the ability to run 4K. So I have a EVGA 2070, and of course I bought that. Now they bring out the supers, but whatever. But I'm able to run the TV on it, and it works pretty well. I like to have the larger thing because as I'm getting older now, my eyes aren't as great as they used to be. So it's pretty nice though. Now if I have another one, then I'd be able to have two nice big screens. I do have another TV in my room, but it's a 65-inch and it sits on the other side of my room, so I'm not going to run that as my second monitor. Although I did there for a while, just kind of goofing around, but it's too far away. It's not worth it. I mean, right now
keep right.
I'm about, I guess, 4 or 5 feet away from it, so it's almost like having a 23-inch monitor, I guess, from the distance I'm sitting away from it. I don't know. It's cool. It'd be nice to have another one. Maybe get a couple stands to hang them up so I can actually almost make it like a surround type of thing. I don't know. We'll see. I messed with that, but I don't know. I've planned on it, and I don't really have the room the way my room is set up, and it's kind of hard because I also run off here. This is where I run my recording. So I run Carvin PM5 spot monitor speakers for my actual speakers for my computer, running through my power amp, and they're not all the greatest when it comes to gaming. Everything's a flat sound, but everything sounds good out of them. It's just not, they just not going to spend the extra money. I got a Logitech headset that I use sometimes for that, but I find using my studio mic and my studio headphones for doing other stuff
Keep
a lot
left,
better. Although
and then turn left.
there's a few things I think I have to mess with. I need to figure out a couple of the plugins that I have and see if I can run them, because
Turn left.
I have a Line 6 UX2 that I'm using, and we are here. Bonus. So I wonder how long. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to attempt to do a back in here. So I'm not good at backing trailers in, mainly because I can't look the way I want to. So I'm not saying I would do better if I was able to. It's something I'm at to practice.
You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance
we will
is now
see
finished.
how well I do here. So where are they going to park it if I do the... we'll do this one. Oh. Is that right in front of us? Oh no, it's just over a little bit. Well, practice makes perfect, right? No, that's what they say anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna... The backing up, like I was saying on the backing up, this is a pain in the butt for me. So we'll see how this goes. Bear with me. Like I said, I suck at backing up. Some things are a lot easier than others, but when you can't look around, it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, so if I'm gonna put out, I don't know, there's a couple other games I might mess around with. Like I was saying, I was playing, there's a game I like playing called, it's The Hunter Call of the Wild. I may see if I can get me and my son will get on there and we'll do something. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I know a lot of people like first-person shooter stuff. I really used to enjoy Call of Duty and stuff like that. I'm not a big online type of gamer. I've always just really enjoyed playing the missions and then go from there. I wonder if I can get this thing to actually line up. I don't know. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Great, I can't see out that side. And that mirror kind of sucks. You know, the mirrors on this really don't seem to give you the perspective. You know I'm going to screw this up. I can already see that right now. One of these days I'm going to get this right. Hey, a train going by. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm gonna try to do some other games too, but I don't know. I like NASCAR, but the NASCAR game I currently have sucks. I do like the Forza. Maybe I should try concentrating what I'm doing. Well, since there's enough room here, if I screw up, I can always go back around and try lining it up again. God, I suck at this. Holy crap. Maybe I should just label this me sucking at freaking trailer parking. Look at this crap. What am I doing? makes me want to shake my head. You know, I never... Actually, the only thing I've ever driven in real life that had a trailer was when I moved back from Minnesota back to California. I had a big old U-Haul with a car in the back, and I don't recall if I ever parked it where I had to back up. I think I just pulled directly in. Yeah, I'm seeing myself driving around again. This is ridiculous. Here, this is Ace Biffy failing at parking a trailer. I love it. Oh, this is too funny. Let's see here, what did I do? I hit a bus, and now I can't park a trailer. It's a good thing I didn't pick up truck. It looks like I could park this right here. What am I doing wrong? I think I'm at the wrong angle here to be able to... Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. What the heck am I doing? Apparently I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, I have some mods in here that give real truck names, or logos I should say. Because Walmart is not Walmart in American Truck Simulator, it's Walbert or something like that. Or... Good God, how can I screw this up any more than this? Jeez. Maybe I should go back into thinking about the music then. Come on. And this is like one of those things where it's like you're going, he can do it, you're doing it, you're doing it. Oh, what are you doing? You're screwing up. Well, here's your lesson on how not to back a trailer in. I've only done this like 4 or 5 times. This is actually the first time I've ever had to do it between 2 trailers. Before it was mostly at shipping docks, and I did not have to actually go through a trailer or next to a trailer. I mean, that were right in between them. Oh, a train going by. That's something I haven't heard. Yep. Well, I'm gonna go around again. That's what I'm gonna do. Shake my head. That's what this is. This is just shake your head and go, hey, you're stupid. My gosh. Of course, you know, they put that light post there just so that you couldn't pull in there. That was the whole reason why they put that there. Apparently, this is kind of odd. I don't think I've ever seen a Tesla trailer that didn't have cars on it when I was traveling. Why would they do that? I guess maybe they're hauling parts? I guess? I don't know. Wait a minute. Did that... I think that thing had a... Alright, so we're gonna go alongside these here and see if we can't line this up a little bit better. God, this is such a failure. Just like this stupid... me doing a long 2-part series here. Yeah, we'll do something different next time. We'll do a different run. Maybe do a run from like Phoenix or something like that out to New Mexico. I kind of debated on whether or not I wanted to take this run and do a video with it, but I decided, what the heck, why not? I can always break it up. Just didn't really realize how long it was going to take to do this. I just actually got back into playing games. It was one of those things where I just didn't I didn't do it there for a while. I played Call of Duty 3 for a while and messed with it. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking right now. This is one of those things where I should have just said, you know what, stop recording and just freaking just back the stupid thing in. And say, yep, we're done. We did it. I have definitely got to get something better for looking around. I don't know if that's going to... I'm not going to blame me not looking around as a thing. I think this is actually just me not being able to do this. Fail the first time, you fail the second time, drive around again. Why not? Good Lord. I love it. Shake my head. Hey, comment below and say how stupid this is. Who cares? It's just a game. It counts that I got here on time, right? Isn't that what it counts for? Or do you actually have to have it parked and it counts? I don't know. I get paid either way. Can you imagine if they started making these sim games and you're actually driving a truck? There's nobody in the truck and you're coming up and you're having to try to park and this is what you got. You got some idiot like me pulling up with a tractor going around in circles. That would be crazy. Be almost like I did. I watched a little bit of Linus Tech Tips, and he had his LTX a month ago or something like that, and they made virtual reality cars where you're driving around remote control cars using VR. Can you imagine if you were doing that with trucks like this? Oh, that'd be scary. That would just be right out there. I can't even imagine doing that. Oh, I might have actually got myself lined up a little bit better. I don't know. Can I thread the needle with this thing? That does not look like a Tesla. Maybe this was one of those things where people traded in their cars for Teslas, and these are the cars from them. Ah, that could be it. Can you even do that? I don't know. Never really looked into it. Maybe I went online. Went online and looked at one. I'd love to have like a Model 3. Be nice to have. Just because. It's new tech, I really would like to mess around with that. Well, not necessarily mess around with it, but it'd be nice to own one just because it's new tech. I know they got a lot of power. It'd just be weird to be in a car that you push on the gas and there's no engine sound. That would be weird. Something I'm just used to. Maybe I should just go buy a new Mustang. You know, when I bought my 2001, granted, when I bought it, the gas prices were just over $1, and so it wasn't so bad. So when gas prices went up, you felt it driving the car because I would go through a tank of gas a week. So I think I was pushing $200 a month, just going to and from work, and I didn't live that far away from work. It was only like a round trip was like maybe 36 miles, 34 miles I think was round trip, and I'd go through a tank of gas a week, easy. God forbid I wanted to go anywhere. Granted, it wasn't that I didn't make enough money to put the gas in the car, it just was ridiculous. The thing that I found that was interesting though was that when I had my 82 Mustang, I was what, 20 years old, and I was paying for, I think liability alone was 80 bucks a month. So when I bought my 2001 Mustang, I was paying 80 bucks a month for full coverage, which I thought was really cool, but it was kind of weird. It was. Now I wonder what it would cost me for insurance on it. I think I might actually finally get it. I guess third time's a charm. I really wish those mirrors worked a lot better. I know there's a mod for it, but I don't know how well it works. You know, I tried getting the mod. They have a Mustang mod, and I tried to install that on here. Apparently, it doesn't work on this particular version of American Truck Sim. I guess when they updated it, doesn't work anymore, and I guess they haven't updated the mod. And I even tried the Ford Raptor, and that one doesn't work. Did it crash on me? I think it crashed on me when I tried running the Ford one, the Raptor one. Be interesting to try to go around the maps on here without driving a truck. That'd be kind of fun, I think. Oh, there's the inside of my truck. I know you may be questioning why I keep looking at the other mirror when I have that small mirror there, but I'm actually trying to see if it's giving me any better view than what I have sitting up there. It's a shame that you can't pop up like a smaller, more panoramic view mirror than like you normally would on a mirror. But right now it's I'm going in. Did I get it? I don't think so. I'm almost there though. Almost got it. Yeah, if they had the other mirror up there, well, that, or if I have a mirror mod that would actually work, it would be worthwhile. Not that it's going to make a difference. I need to do this. What it all comes down to is you have to practice. In order to do this, that's what you do. You just practice it. But, hey, not everybody's made to do this type of stuff. You just gotta practice. I'd totally fail this if they had me to. I'd be like, nah, you failed. Come on, it took me 3 times. I don't care, you failed. You're on a time limit. You're a loser. Hey, did I hit something? I think. Nope, I'm waiting for it to turn green. I will get this. Oh, y'all can laugh at me. It's all good. Oh, look at this. But my analness wants to, like, line it up. I want to line it up a little bit. But I'm just gonna get this a little bit in here and then I'm gonna be done. Yeah, this is about where I'm gonna have to stop. Let's back this straight up. We'll be done. Look at that. Yeah, come on. I'm done. It's about flipping time. Well, hey, I want to thank you guys for being around watching this, and we'll see what we do the next time. I don't know. I'll pick a shorter run so I can come up with something. Maybe I'll even come up with something to actually talk about. Something outside of beside what I like to do. I don't know. We'll see what we'll do. Maybe I'll even throw one of my songs in the background playing. Who knows? I know there's a few things you can run a playlist and whatnot. So we'll see. Hey, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you disliked it, go ahead, dislike it. Either way, please comment and give me feedback on what maybe you'd like to see go on with this, with American Truck Sim. Like I said, I know that Utah's coming out pretty soon, so we'll see what happens with that. Well, I don't know when, but I know it's coming out. But again, thanks a lot, and check out my other videos, and we'll see you next time.